Cornerstone Live. My name is Mackenzie Smith, and I'm a consultant here at Cornerstone Data.
And I'm Joy Akins. I'm the president of the company, and we're coming to you from 2021, first video of the new year.
Yeah, and we're back to give some insight and clarity on the article, The Spike That Wasn't. We've teamed up with a local online journal called Candor to talk about data and the pandemic. This month, we examined a spike that was reported in the July 14th White House Coronavirus Task Force report. Joy, what sparked your curiosity in this report?
Well, I remember looking at this report over the summer. Let me just pull it up so all of our viewers can see it, and thinking about it. And when you look at it, you can see right here in July, there's this huge spike of almost 2,000 cases being reported. And then as I was scrolling down through the rest of the report, there's another graph that's the top 12 counties based on the number of cases they had. And as I started looking at this report, you'll kind of see there's this pattern where all of these counties are having the exact same spike on the same day. And I think that, you know, data analysts are supposed to look for patterns. And I think that just set off my spidey sense. Could that many counties have a huge spike on the exact same day? So the White House tells us that they use the data from usafacts.org as their raw data. And I pulled that data and noticed that there was this crucial flaw in the data. What happened is that 932 cases that were reported by Kansas on July 3rd were actually included in the White House report on July 6th. So this creates the appearance of a drop in cases here, followed by a major spike the following week. Now, we did have an increase that week in July, but the increase was only 13% and not the 150% that was reported widely in the news. And what's also interesting here is this spike was still included in the reports that came out by that White House as late as October, which is really where this graph comes from, is that October report.
Another troubling practice from KDHE and the White House is the way that the cases are reported. Joy, what is happening?
Well, if you look here on the left, we've taken that same graph that we just looked at with the spike and we corrected it. And the White House uses the data based on report date because Kansas only reports their data 3 times a week. We're the only state that does that. So the White House report uses data based mainly on that reporting date. With a little data, you can see in between, sometimes there's a little bit of data pulled for other dates from larger counties. So meaning, and on this side, we've created a graph showing by the date of symptom onset, which is the date that people reported their symptoms started. Graphing by symptom onset date is important because you see the actual growth in cases over time. Where the White House report appears to say that we've had more than 1,000 cases per day reported since sometime this summer and over 2,000 in October. But in the second graph, you can see that's actually not the case. In reality, the first time we had 1,000 cases a day in Kansas was in early October. What's concerning about all of this is that the data on this first graph by day reported is being used to make a lot of decisions, or actually even the graph up here with the spike has been used to make a lot of decisions by officials. And it's based on a data error and data misconception. And those decisions affected the everyday lives of Kansans. And it's another illustration of why data accuracy and peer review and context is so important.
Joy, I appreciate you for further explaining this issue and why it is cause for concern. Please be sure to read the article we posted and consider the implications that this data error has on everyday Kansans. Also, check out our website at www.cornerstonedata.com for other COVID-19 analysis we have performed. We hope you all had an amazing new year, and here's to 2021. We'll catch you next time.